Welcome both Brant and Adam to Brave Little Belgium. And this is the second session. We had a session earlier today, and we're going to do this session for, well, we'll see how long we go. We're set for about an hour. The game does play in about 45 minutes, but that is if you know the game well and are ready to get into it and just get moving. We're going to require, obviously, some introduction of rules and that sort of thing, so it may take a little longer than that, so we'll see how far we can go. The Brave Little Belgium game pits the Germans in the beginning of World War One against the Entente of the Belgian, the British, and the French. And what we need to decide right now is really who's going to play what. The Germans are all obviously on the over here in Germany, on the borders of Belgium and Luxembourg, and they're trying to get through Belgium and then get down to France and into Paris, and then the Entente are all over here, ready to defend. The goal of the game, there are two forts. There's one at Liège and one at Namur. Both of those forts need to be destroyed, and an infantry unit needs to be taken across the victory line, which is right here. If the German is able to do that by this date, 19th through the 21st, and hold one of these cities by that date, they win. If they can't, and they can do it by the next date, the 22nd to 24th, which would be about historically when they did it, then it becomes a draw. And then if the Entente is able to keep them completely held off and not destroy the forts or not getting infantry over the line by this end of this date, then the Entente win. So that's kind of the basics of the game. We could roll and see who plays what if you want, or if you guys have decided, we can let you to pick. Brant, what do you want to play?
I'm agnostic.
Okay. Adam, do you have a preference?
I'll play. I can play as the defenders if Brand, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, so Adam, just for my sanity, if you could take the blue color, and Brant, if you could take the green color for right now. It looks like you already did. Good. So you can reorient your board however you want. That's just for kind of my sanity, so I understand what's going on. So I know some of you, I know at least one of you read the rules a little bit, but basically this is a chit pull game. So there's a little bag up here in which we're going to pull out chits, and that's going to activate different armies and events and that sort of thing. The game is pretty much set up, but we have one little piece of setup that we have not done. I waited till now to do it, just so you guys can be involved in that. And that is the what we call the Garde Civique, kind of like the National Guard of Belgium during that period of time. And what we're going to do is we're going to just roll two dice, and we'll have one dice represent the vertical of this table, and one dice represent the horizontal of this table. And we'll call out some cities, and we'll place the militia, the Garde Civique, in the various cities. Basically, there are 12 of these. Some are really good, and some are just blank duds. So they'll be kind of random when they come out. They'll be actually, you'll see when I pull one out, they'll be face down like that. You won't be able to see them. It's just a question mark. You won't know what it is as the Germans, so you won't know the power of that particular piece as the Germans. So, if one of you would like to roll, or...
And just a couple things, and this is Dave Shaw, by the way. I'm Ryan's co-designer. Thanks again, guys, for playing today. Really appreciate it. Two things to keep in mind as we do this. Number one, as you roll, if we roll a city more than twice, there's a cap of 2 Garde Civique per town. So, say we rolled Brussels 3 times, you would have to re-roll the third time. So there's a max of 2 Garde Civique on any one space. And also, and you probably see this by looking at the setup chart, if you roll doubles of any kind, that means that there will not be a piece set up. In other words, it kind of represents a failure to mobilize on the guard's part. So avoid doubles and try to spread your die rolls out as best as possible.
So if one of you could be nice enough to just roll 2 dice and tell me which one is horizontal, one is vertical, and then we'll start getting these things placed. David can also help out with this.
Roll here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Here you go. What did you get? Did you get four?
I rolled a 4 and a 5.
Okay, so 4 horizontal and then I'm sorry, 4 vertical and then 5 horizontal. My eyes are not that good, so I gotta
That's
zoom
good.
in. 4 vertical and 5 horizontal is Neufchâteau, right?
Oh, okay. Well then,
Neufchâteau.
designers need to get on the same page.
Well, yeah, the vertical and then horizontal is what we were looking at. Okay, roll again.
All right.
Alright, roll me again here.
That's a dud.
Snake eyes.
So that's going to be nothing at this point. We're going to leave it flipped over like that so you don't know whether it's a powerful one or a weak one that you lost.
Alright. So keep rolling.
Yeah, just keep rolling. There's 12 of them total, so we placed 2, so we 10 more.
Okay.
4 and a 6.
4 and 6.
4 and a 6. That's Bastogne.
Storm.
Yeah, if you can see it, Dave, just yell it out to me.
As long as I'm reading it right.
I just my eyes on because I'm looking at it from the top. Doubles.
Doubles again.
Hold 4.
Yeah, I have a top-down view, and I'm kind of way out so that everybody can see what's going on, so it's hard for me to see.
6 and
That's fine.
Which one's that,
That's
Dave?
La Roche and then Ardennes.
Okay, great. You really have rolled a lot in the Ardennes so far, so that's going to be a little bit of a bottleneck for the Germans coming in so far.
I have paratroopers, right?
Say that again. Oh,
I
you
have paratroopers
paratroopers. Is that DS?
or air cav.
That's right.
Is that DS, Dave?
That would be Diest.
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
No problem. One
One
and 4
is-
is it's the Michelin Man. Immobilized. Two and 6. That's Hassel.
Don't give hassle to hassle.
Six
and
and
3
3.
is that's Diest again.
6 and 3 is
Mhm.
DS again.
One and 5 is Nibels.
Hold on, I'm helping my son with something. What was it again? I'm sorry, I was helping my son.
No, it's perfectly
Right,
all right.
right there. I
Yeah.
got you.
And by the way, I'm going to apologize to anybody who happens to hear this that my pronunciation is not spot on for these places. I did visit Belgium, but I can't say that I can pronounce all these correctly. So
Is that?
2 and 3.
I think that's Charleroi.
that's Charleroi. Yep.
I think there's one
And
left.
then we got left.
I
One
think-
more,
I think
yeah,
one more.
sad. Yep.
Yep, this is the last one.
6 and 4. That's Lorem.
Got it. All right, good. So now we're all completely placed. So, like historically, really the first group of Germans to come in were the cavalry. Okay, and the German player has, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 cavalry, and they're all on top here to make it a little bit easier for you. They're going to get the first move before anything else happens in this game. Okay.
Yeah, this is a special first turn only event. This just for reference.
And the movement for cavalry is 4, and for infantry is 2. Now, the little lines here that are kind of straight lines, those cost 1 movement point to get across. And then the little ones that are kind of squiggly, those cost 2. So like this cavalry here could move 2, and then could decide whether they want to move any further at that point. This one can move 2, 4, or could move 1, 2, 3, and then into there for 4, etc., etc. The cavalry also have a little bit of a unique characteristic. If there are face-down Garde Civique, which there are in this case, and there's not anything else there but face-down Garde Civique, they can actually move, peek, see what's there. If they want to battle, it stay. Reconnoiter, yes. And then if not, they will return back to wherever they started. Okay? So that's about it. Let's make some cavalry movements, I think.
And the historical basis for this is that even though technically Germany invaded, well, started moving into Belgium on August 3rd, their cav units had already crossed the frontier 24 hours before that, so the Germans were not even waiting for the Belgians to reply to their demand. They just were kind of going in and taking a look. So that's kind of what this is representing.
That's so German.
Yeah, well, you know.
So,
Okay, so when you're moving units, are you moving them one at a time?
yeah, you're going to only move the cavalry at this particular instance. So it would just be the
Right.
cabs on top of there. But you can move each of
this
those
is-
from each of those
This
those
is
groupings.
probably the only time you'll, well, this is, like I said, this is a first term only event. So you're just going to take each cav unit, any order you want. You can move them, you know, first 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever. You're just basically moving them into Belgium, and what you do with them, how how far you go with them is entirely up to you.
And no laughing aloud while we're making moves, right?
No.
Trust me, I have played this so many times that I've seen myself make plenty of silly mistakes. So you cannot do
Okay.
anything that will make me laugh.
All right, so cab is 4.
That's
movement
correct.
Factors,
Mhm.
points, whatever. Okay, so I can do.
That'd be 2.
That would be 2, right?
And that would be 3. Now, just to let you know, with that particular unit right there, because as you can see, they actually have a cav underneath of there and a guard civique. Bringing that guy in would be a battle. That would not be a peak.
Yeah, right.
It's
right.
okay, you know.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Yeah, you
perfect.
Can move forward and stop.
Yeah, you can
certainly
move.
have
You can move to
left.
Tongeren and stop if you want. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, the guy that played this morning moved all of his cav right into Liège and started a battle. You know, I've never seen that done before. You know, but that's what he wanted to
How
do.
did that work out?
Oh, he lost all 3 of them.
That's interesting, though. I've never actually, and that's what I love about first-time experiences. Is that's something that I wouldn't be like, it's kind of rash, but hey,
Mhm.
you know what?
Mm-hmm.
It might have worked.
And he had his 4th
Right.
down in like Marseille because there was a wide open way to Marseille, so he got his 4th in there and left the other one. So
Cool.
You-
All right. We'll go here.
hmm
So this.
so that one right there is going to be a peak, and
Yeah.
the way you just hover over, and I'm just going to flip, and you'll be able to see that that's a 4, and so then you can decide whether you want to stay there or not. Now those die faces on these units indicate the number at which or above which that you're going to hit. So in order to for you to hit, you need to roll a 5 or a 6. This is a
Right.
particularly strong guard civique. For him to hit, he needs to roll a 4, 5, or 6. So it's 50% chance really he's going to hit. So you need to
Right.
decide: do you want to stay or do I want to go back?
Run away.
Okay. You still can move your 2
away,
and your
have
4.
And I can do
Yep.
this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we'll just move that aside, and he's there by himself, and we will flip that, and that is a 5. So you can decide whether you want to stay or you want to leave.
Yeah. No, he'll stay.
Okay. And
Alright.
you have one last one down there, all the way in Trier, the 4th.
Oh yeah.
He does get to move now, even though the fort doesn't really get to activate for much later. He does get to move now if he wants to.
Yeah, sure.
I'm assuming maybe you're going over here.
Yep.
Okay.
3.
And I'm flipping these, but I don't have to. That's a weaker one. That's a 6. Okay. So we are going to have 2 battles to start out with. We're going to have a battle at Bastogne and a battle of Neuchâteau. We probably don't need to use the battle board in this particular instance because, it's literally 1 against 1. Okay. So, any preference on which battle you like to start with, either of you?
Yeah, this one right here.
Okay. So, at the Battle of Bastogne, the Germans are going to need a 5 or 6 to hit, and the Belgians are going to need a 5 or 6 to hit. So, it's just going to be one die roll each of you, and we'll see what happens.
Here we go.
By the way, if you don't like throwing the die, if you hover over the die and just hit R, it will roll itself. Did you both miss? One rolled to 3 and one rolled to 1. Is that what it was?
Yep. So,
Yeah.
Both,
uh,
both missed. Both missed.
Okay. Well, so
In that event, what would happen is Adam, being the defender, wins. Defender always wins, so
I have to retreat.
you go back to where you came from. Yep. So,
Okay.
and now for battle number 2. All right, and it looks like Adam missed, but Brent, you got a 5. Gartsvik.
Other
or am
way.
I think you
Oh,
flipped
sorry.
you flipped the names, Dave.
I'm looking at the wrong. Okay, so okay.
We both
So
missed.
both missed. Okay. What I was going to mention though is that some of the units in the game are 2-steppers, but the Cav and the Gartsvik are both 1-step. So if you get a hit on either of those units, that eliminates them.
And there is at least 5 units that are infantry that are also 1-steppers. And we'll see those as we go along. Okay, so that really resolves the first movement of the cavalry. They weren't very successful in what they were trying to do, and the Guard
It
Civique.
was actually very productive in revealing 3 Guard Civiques. So
That's
that
true.
was-
So what we'd want to do at this point is start drawing chits. For this particular first turn, because there's basically 12 chits available, the chits are either going to be the first, the second, or the third for the German to activate them, the Albert, the King of the Belgians, to activate them, some sort of special event, some sort of special event, or an end of day. Now, since each of these turns indicates 3 days, there's 3 end of days. Once you get 3 end of days, the turn ends and we move to the next turn. So I'm going to draw and see what we get. We got the second. We got von Bülow. So the Germans may move the second.
So this is all the second in this stack.
That is correct. So that entire
Yes, sir.
second, and at this point they're all infantry. Your cav is down here in Luxembourg.
Yes, voyages,
Yeah,
3
in-
virgins.
In Luxembourg, so you could move that infantry up there, and the cav can move again. This is one of the instances where the cav can move again because, again, that was simulating the day before the actual day of the invasion. So you have the ability to
Okay,
move.
so in the turn now, I can move all of the second, and once all of the second is moved, combat takes place if there's combat?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There are
So
some
just-
there are some games where you have to wait for a draw of a combat chit, but not in this game.
Right, right.
Yes. And again, being Germans, all of your second army is nicely stacked in one spot. So,
Right.
yeah, what you do with them after this is entirely up to you.
And there's no hidden information, right?
Nope, you can look at what's
No,
there,
sir.
Okay.
except for the Guard Civique. That's the only hidden information.
But I can freely look at stacks and see
Sure.
my opponent, what he has in the stack.
Sure.
You both can take a look-see and see what you got. There's no penalty for peeking.
So which one of these is the Panzer Army?
You have to wait for your
And
next
go
game.
over in Poland. Just remember.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
next
first,
game.
Right. Okay, so, right, so if you have a multi-stack situation in combat with a multi-stack, then you're just going to roll 1 die per your unit and see how many, or how are you doing it, 1 at a time then? to see
So-
if you hit?
So you're going to move. Say you move this entire stack into Liège. Okay, we're gonna pull all these up here to the battle board, and we'll
Right.
we'll group them by number, all the 4s together, all the 5s together, etc. You'll roll all the 4s together at once. You'll add all the 5s together at once, etc., etc. The It's a little different here, and I want you to see this so you can understand what's going on. This is 2 infantries. There's a smaller one. There's a brigade and a division, and there's a fort here. And this fort, as you can notice, has 4 pips right now. That indicates it's a 4 strength fort. So when you attack here, he's going to roll 1 die for this and had it hit on a 5 or 6. 1 die for this and hit on a 6, and then 4 dice for this, hitting on a 5 or better. So just to be aware of how many dice he will be rolling. So that's the equivalent of
Could be
about
6 dice.
Yep, that's the equivalent of about 6 units here. But you have a very large stack here, so you don't feel threatened by that.
I think you're trying to sucker me into something.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I'm just giving you the
Well,
I'm just giving you the victory conditions, and you have to defeat that fort. So,
Right.
and historically, that's
and
what happened.
And I guess if you could say there's a standard first turn, typically because Liège is a big target, most, and I'm speaking entirely from my experience, you move the Second Army into Liège to start working with that fort because it's the closest. Usually, depending on how that goes, you would then take the First Army and either help out the Second if things are going badly, or try to get the First Army to go north toward crossing the line. And the Third and Fourth Armies are basically going after Namur, trying to get that.
But again, you don't have to do that if you wanted to take the second
no,
and
that's-
come down
that's
here
a
and
smart-
attack this guard civique and try to get in
Right.
through this way and take the first to go in this way.
Because
You could do
because
that
the other
too.
thing- right. The other thing too is that Adam will, in each of the next 3 turns, get a new army activation. 2 of the French armies and then the BEF, and they can pretty much go anywhere in Belgium. So you start out strong, but gradually the Allies start getting more and more into the battle. So
Yeah.
you kind of have to act fast in the beginning and be aggressive.
right. Yeah, that was kind of my thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so have I done that? All right, I'm gonna do this. Oops.
I'm just going to place them right there.
Oh, in the box next
Yep.
door. Yep. Okay.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. And remember, there's a stacking of 8, but I know that there's no more than 8 there. So what we're going to do is we're just, as I said, you're going to move. I don't know why it did that. It rotates for me sometimes.
Ryan likes to spin his units around. They dance as they
Yeah,
battle.
we're just going to move. We're just going to move everything up here, grouping it so that we have,
Okay.
by the 4s
Adam, you can move your Belgians up to
and the 5s.
defender.
This is one of those one step ones right here, by the way. So that's kind of your forces right there. These are all, except for so all 6 of these are 2-steppers. The Cav's a 1-step, and that's a 1-step. He's got this as a 2-step. This brigade is only 1-step, and then this fort, as I said, is equivalent of really a 4-stepper. Is what it's
Right.
equivalent of. Okay, so the way you roll and whatnot doesn't matter here. You can roll in any order you want. So you can roll all your 5s and then your 4s and then your 6. I'm going to give and clone one of these dice down here just to give you an extra die, unless you already have one.
I
'Cause
got 4.
I'm going to give you a 5th because you have to roll. You're going to be rolling 4 5s for this and then another 5 for that, so that'll be 5 5s and then a 6. I'll just break it up and make it easy. So it doesn't matter which way you roll. All combat results are applied afterwards. So go ahead and do your rolls.
Well, we have to declare which one we're rolling for, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, of
All
course.
right. Well, I'll do my 5s and then 4s and the 6.
That's fine. So it looks like 1 hit.
I'm only rolling 3 dice, right?
Yep.
Well, the Belgians are going to be rolling. The Belgians are rolling 5 5s and only 1 6. So see how this has a 4 pip here? And then this one as well. So it'd be 4 and then 5. All hitting on a 5. Because this has a strength of 4, so therefore it rolls 4 dice. You Germans, you can keep rolling.
Oh, okay. I see.
I got you down for 1 hit.
So I'm sorry, who just rolled? I kind of lost contact for a minute.
We got the Germans that have rolled for
Adam or-
1 hit.
Deutsch.
Okay. And that was 4 rolls for the 5s?
Yes.
Okay, so now you would be rolling 3 die for your 4s, and you want to roll a 4, 5, or 6.
Yep. That's
Oh,
2 hits.
2 hits.
2 more
Now
hits.
3 total. And now for your lone 6, obviously you have to roll a 6.
Don't. Release.
There you go. Oh, 4 hits.
Oh, wow. All right, so it's 4 hits total for the Germans, and now it's Adam's turn.
How do you normally keep track of these?
How?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because usually what I do is I set. We only have 4 die in Ryan's mod here, but I'll set dice aside to say, okay, that was a hit. That was a hit. Kind of like if you play Axis and Allies.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like if I were to clone like a couple of these dice and put them over here, you know, I might go, okay, you have 4
I
hits.
think
Boom.
the game. I'm looking at the game right now. The game comes with like 8 dice.
Yeah, it
so
does.
kind of-
Yeah. So right now, I just threw those
I
over there.
have to rely on memory, so.
Well, or if you rolled first, right? I might put that aside so that I know that's what the Germans hit, and then as he rolls, I'll start just flipping my men on the German side because I don't need to worry about them anymore, you know. So as he
Yeah,
starts getting hits, I'll start flipping my German men.
It's whatever works for you.
I'll go ahead and clone a couple over here for whatever you hit. After the roll, have you rolled yet? That's an amazing.
haven't rolled.
That's an amazing roll if you rolled yet.
5 and 1 6. Is that correct?
You were rolling.
We're rolling
Yep,
5 5s and 1 6. Yes, sir.
that's correct.
I'll do the 5s first.
I was hoping that was your roll. 4 hits.
No.
Okay, so that's 2 hits.
2 hits.
Hmm.
Not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 hits.
So 2 hits total.
So we'll just use those die to mark that if need be. And so 4 hits on the Entente and 2 hits on the German. Now, one little thing about the Entente, you got 4 hits. You have to take, in this case, the hits on the infantry first. Then you can take the hits on the fort. So in this case, because you have 1 single step and 1 double step, that's going to be 3. Those both are going to be eliminated. And then you're going to rotate that fort from its 4 position to its 3 position.
Okay, so rotate it. So
Yeah. There's a way to fix that and make that easier, but don't worry about it. It will right itself when we bring it back. As soon as we bring it back here, it'll pop it in where it needs to go. And then these 2 guys, this guy got destroyed, and this guy got destroyed. In this particular case. And then Germans, you need to pick what you want to take as your hits. Do you go for the old guys hanging out and just get rid of that completely, or do you flip
Yeah,
and
obviously the
you know.
6 is a 1 step, so if you hit that, that eliminates. And same with the cavalry. The other 6 units, the other 6 infantry, do have a reduced side.
Yep. So they can
So
be,
I guess it kind of depends on how many different units you want in case you want to split them and send in different directions, right? Whether you want to reduce one or eliminate one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And this is just my personal preference. I tend to, if I can keep a unit in the field, I'll flip it first. Just so that, you know, I have, because once it's gone, you have no firepower. So that was actually a decent first turn assault by the Germans on Liège.
very good.
So,
That's a very good one.
But,
There you go. And now since
Liège is still standing though, so
and you're basically going to be besieging Liège at this point, so that entire stack is going to go into the box below Liège, just to indicate that it is now. It'll write itself if we pop it over here. I think it should. Oh, I lie.
I was promised.
Well, if they're close enough, they will. But if they're not close
Oh,
enough,
now you're blaming it on me.
yeah, they.
right. If you were neater with your
Yeah, you gotta be neater with
my
those
stack.
stacks. Do you have those guys in your game group that are constantly readjusting everything, the cards, the stacks, making sure
That's
they're
me.
perfectly neat?
I'm
That's
the
Dave.
OCD guy.
That's Dave. I have a guy that does that with cards, but Dave does that with stacks and everything. Okay, so that was a great start. So we're going to actually go ahead and pull another chit from up here and see what we get. So end of turn. So that's day 1 over with, which I guess makes sense. And day 2 quickly went and passed without anybody
flying.
activating. So we're curious to see what's going to come here. And in this case, the king
It's Albert.
is going to become active and do his thing. Now, do remember the Guards Civique do not have any movement points. They cannot move. They have to stay where they are. Now, because he's sieging you here, this is kind of nice, and he has yet to bring in his big guns, you will be able to fire at him right now. And you will be able to take 3 shots at him, and he will not get a fire back. Again, just like him, your cavalry, which is up here, has a movement of 4, and all your infantry have a movement of 2. So go ahead and make your movements, and then we'll apply the battles and do the battles.
I see. So, and then in terms of which units I can move any of those, any of these guys.
You cannot move the Guard Civique. They have no movement.
Well, other than the Guard Civique, but
Mhm.
for example, any of these divisions.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to reinforce. Now, just remember there is a stacking limit of 8. So, right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can put 2 more in there. You can reinforce this. And stacking limit is still, stacking limit is
You can
still,
put 5 units.
yeah, I was saying the stacking limit's still 8. So, actually, Dave, I think it goes by the original. I'll double check that.
Oh, am I wrong? I could be.
But you have to know the secret password, right?
Yeah, when at full strength, Dave. So you can only ever put 4 in a fort area.
And then how much movement do my units have? Is it the same?
Same. It's infantry 2 and cavalry 4, and there's no difficult spots in there. So all those movements are 1 movement point to get from point to point.
Straight lines or
Mhm.
1 movement
Mhm.
point each.
All right. I will go reinforce
Mhm.
here with that guy.
He can move the guy in the bottom east.
Yeah, this guy I could move and attack the cavalry. But my cavalry can move 4 as well. And I'm assuming you can't move through an enemy spot
No.
without that.
No. Yep. So theoretically, and this is again just looking at what's available, you could bring in the unit from Louvain, Deist, and your cavalry in Haslett to attack the.
Yeah, I was just thinking, again, I'm going to go here,
Mhm.
and then here, and then here. Basically, take down this cavalry.
Okay.
Should I stack them on top?
For the moment, yep, that's fine. We'll do all battles when you're done moving. Typical Germans, they don't want to be on bottom. All right.
What about? Are you moving this guy here?
I'm gonna. I'll move him. Put him right there. I'd like a little bit of depth, I think.
So you're bringing this guy. You're bringing this guy in, and then doing an attack with this guy and with your fort.
Yep.
So then he will get to fire back in that instance. Just to let you know.
I see. Okay. Yeah, let's do.
Okay. So do you want to do this battle first, or do you want to do this battle first?
I.
Tongeren or
let's
Liège?
do-
Liège? Is that what you said? So then these, we'll just pop these back up. My eyes are not the best, so if I put a 5 with a 4, let me know, guys. I think I'm doing okay.
Yep.
Okie dokie. That's a 5, right? Okay, so the Belgians are going to fire 4 dice at 5 or better, and then the Germans are 3 at 4, 3 at 5, and 1 6.
So yeah, Adam will do 4 dice. Yeah, 4 dice. I'm looking for 5s and 6s.
Oh, whoa.
Well,
All right. Here are the 4s. 1 hit.
1 hit.
1 hit.
And then here are the 5s. Ooh, I can't see the bottom one.
I think that's 2 hits.
2 hits.
You have 2 hits. That's a 5 and a 6. So
Yep.
So 3 hits total. And what did you get, Belgians?
No,
Nothing.
I don't think I can-
Belgians rolled. Yeah, they unfortunately did not hit anything.
Okay.
So this, okay, so here's my
lose a
6.
Yeah,
and
don't
my-
get your 6.
So you'll have to remove that guy, and then you'll have to take a hit on the fort.
And unfortunately, no hit. So 3 hits total for the Germans against the Belgians.
You can actually fix that if you want to. You have it set up right now that it rotates by like 15 degrees instead of like 90 degrees. But
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, Ryan won't even let me rotate because for some reason, mine just spin endlessly when I do it. So.
right, it was 3 hits, correct? So
Yep,
1,
3 hits.
2, and then 1 on the fort. So the fort's down to
Yep,
2.
and none against the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okie dokie. Let's draw another chit, I guess, right? Oh no. No! We have another battle. We have another.
Germans back.
I
They didn't. And we have the little cavalry engagement in.
forgot about that.
I'm okay with leaving it like it is.
Yeah, just not having this other battle.
Yeah, exactly. Can't we all get along?
Is that 6 over there? Is that?
Yeah, that needs to go back. There we go. Okay, so we have at this point the Entente are going to roll 2 at 5 or better, and then 1 at 6 or better, and the Germans are going to roll 1 at 5 or better. And this needs to go here.
All right. I threw that dice. I didn't mean to throw it.
That's fine.
I got it.
Okay, so Germans got 1 hit. And
Okay.
now
You're gonna do 5.
Adam. 1 hit for the 5.
1 hit on each.
Yeah, hit on each.
That's my 6.
Okay. So in this particular case, there was 1 hit on each, but because that 1 hit was cavalry for the Germans, he's completely eliminated. So even though technically the tie would go to the defender, if he gets completely eliminated, in this case the Belgians are going to win this battle. They just have to apply their hit, and then they can occupy that territory.
Right. So you can either flip one of your infantry, Adam, or you can eliminate your cav.
I'll flip an infantry. How about we'll take the hit on the first.
There you go.
There you go.
And then just you can pop them all back there in Tongeren.
Yeah, hurry up before Ryan pulls a chit.
I know. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I find it easier just to drag them one by one because there's stacking built into here that it's a magnetic and it just grabs it and pops it. Whereas if you try to stack them like up here, there's not a magnetic thing, and so then it doesn't really, work as well. Okay, now I can pull a chit, right?
Yes, nice.
What do you want to bet it's an end today? Nope.
That's only if you and I were playing.
Von
It's
Clock.
the first, right?
Yeah, Von Clock.
There we go. Yes, sir. Up there in Hawken.
don't
Yeah.
don't with Von Clock.
I have actually been to Aachen.
There you go. Did you?
Oh.
I don't know, other than I don't know anything about Aachen other than that the remnants of Charlemagne's.
Constantine.
Yeah,
Charlemagne. Yep,
Charlemagne's.
been there. Seen it.
Okay, that's one
His
thing I know.
reliquary.
Yes, that's the only thing I know from
Yeah,
that
so
area.
Was that a tourist visit, a service visit, a school visit? You said you'd been to Aachen.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
was
no,
that
no, no, yeah, tourist. No, tourist.
a tourist? Okay.
Yeah, I've been to Germany twice, well, I shouldn't say East Germany, but the eastern side of what was at the time West Germany.
Mm-hmm. Eastern
So
side of West.
Munich and Nuremberg and all of that.
Yeah,
And
gotcha.
then I've been to the west, which Aachen, Frankfurt, etc. So
I got to do a day trip to Cologne and
been there too.
Very beautiful place.
I was there on May Day. So
Ooh.
I got to take part in a communist Oompa Loompa band.
There's an opportunity of a lifetime.
Yes, it was interesting. All right, so these guys are going here,
Yes.
or I'll just put them beside it, like that.
Yep. Since that's pretty
Uh,
much the whole first army, I think that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Because your cap got eliminated, so.
I prefer to say retired.
Okay, so go ahead and start drawing those off to the battle board, and we'll set up that battle here.
Okay.
And actually, I think Adam took only a hit, so he has 3 units there. So this will actually be some stout resistance from the Belgians.
This is these guys, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, it's not the French.
Oh. Let's not speak ill of the French. They're not in the game yet. They're still heading into the Ardennes, or excuse me, into Alsace-Lorraine. Banging.
Slowly.
Yeah. Hey guys, you're going the wrong way.
Okay, Dave, what do we have roll-wise right now?
So it looks like for Adam, it's going to be 2 6s and 1 5. For Brent, he has 4 4s, 2 5s, and 1 6. So
Let's see what
which
happens.
of you gentlemen will be rolling first?
I'll go. I got more.
Okay.
I'm the aggressor.
The aggressor is being aggressive. So this is your
Okay.
4.
2 hits.
Looks like you got 2 hits. Okay.
All right.
And now you'll be rolling 2 die for 5s.
Come on, I'm not trying to roll. I'm trying to select one.
The rolling feature in Tabletop Simulator does leave a little bit to be desired. But
Well, yeah, but it's at least better than Tabletopia, which you can't roll them across the board. You just got to roll them in place. Just kind of boring.
okay. Okay.
All right, there we go. 1 hit.
1 hit. Okay, so that's 3 hits now. And now you have 1 die for your 6.
Six.
Yes, sir.
Nope.
Hit.
Oh,
No, it's a miss.
6.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought that was a 4.
I was getting so used to saying hit, you know.
Okay, 3 hits, and I have it marked up here. 3
Are
hits.
you gonna let that stand? Time to have the Belgians. Belgians need to show some esprit de corps here. All right, so you've got 2 6s.
So here come the 2 6s. Nice.
And 1 5.
And 1 5.
Oops.
I knew which one he rolled. Okay.
That's all right. We got you.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that was not a hit either. So
Yep, 3 hits on the Entente and 0 hits on the Germans.
Then I'll flip the 5th Division here, and I lose both these other guys.
That works.
those will both go to the retired pub.
And in this case, you will have to retreat someplace back, either towards Hasselt or
Hassel or
Tienen.
Tienen.
Yep.
Your choice.
You were there. Mm-hmm.
Now the Germans can trundle into Dunkirk.
Let's see if they. Oh, they worked that time.
Oh,
You had the magic touch, apparently, not I.
magnificent.
It's my mouse.
Any other battles,
Yeah.
Dave?
No, that was it. There's only at this point. Grant's keeping everybody nice and neat. So
Okay. So we do have a special event here, which is not going to matter whatsoever. This is the one you wanted to get prior to Albert being drawn, so that's not going to be very helpful. This one could be helpful once he activates his 3rd, and that you could sabotage him, and that would be -1 for his movement. So the infantry could only then move 1, and the cav could move 3.
So the forced march shit has no effect?
No, because you've already done your movement.
Ah, I see. Okay.
If you had drawn that before
I
Albert,
understand.
hmm Zeppelins, this is for the Germans. This is a +1 for attack. He certainly could have used that earlier, but maybe he'll be able to use that for his 3rd. As well as forced march here. Now, see, this is interesting that this got drawn. If this had not got drawn, you definitely could sabotage him. He could offset that sabotage with that, but he won't get the additional movement. He'll just get standard
it's
movement.
It's a counterweight. To,
Yeah.
Right.
Man, they're all coming out now, Dave. The Big Bertha.
You planned it, Ryan.
Yeah, I didn't plan it this way. The Big Bertha. This is for when you attack a fort. Like earlier, if you had decided to attack him, he would not have been able to fire back. But if he has this, he can fire back. And if he uses this on an attack, it's just an instantaneous hit on the fort, which
Now,
is
Ryan, stop.
which
That's
is great.
too late. He drew.
What?
Okay. Well, I was going to say if Ryan had instead drawn the 3rd and final end of turn, Grant could have elected to say, all right, well, I still want to pull out the 3rd Army chit, and then that's when you would have had to roll on the atrocity table. But
I will say that this chit pull bag was not shuffled right before we started, and the way this was pulled out, I mean, it was certainly random, but it looks like it was the same randomness as what the first game was today, because that looks remarkably similar to how it got pulled at 11 o'clock. So, 2 different games, 2 different things, but we need to make sure we shuffle it next time.
Trying to say that we need to start over, Ryan? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
no, it was random to them, Dave. Random to them.
All right, so 3rd Army can activate. Now, of course, again, if you guys feel inclined to do so, Adam could certainly throw the sabotage at the 3rd Army, and Brand, you could respond with force march, which would then cancel each other out.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that.
And we should
Yeah, it's kind of at this point, yeah, it's a mutual, yeah.
And we should say, I don't know how many are in Liège at this time. You know, there's what?
I think 7.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, 'cause you
1,
lost,
2,
one.
3, 4, 5. So the most you could bring in there, if you wanted to, from the 3rd would be 1, and
Right.
attack with that. Which, you know, if you happen to hit, given you have the instantaneous hit with Big Bertha, you could possibly destroy Liège.
But you'd have to hit with the cab.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be the cav. It could be any of these.
As long as it's a unit that's present.
I mean, you could bring in your best 4 infantry, bring it in and attack and hope you get a hit, and then
Right.
that would destroy that fort. Or you could move down here and try to get through, and start trying to get through to Namur.
Namur.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Ooh.
That's okay.
That's fine. If you had only had the sabotage, I mean, if he had had the sabotage, that would have made it so you would not be able to do that. But because you have the forced march and he has the sabotage, it offsets one another, and you can make that move. Or you can even go down to Bastogne
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
And we should also bring up the fact at this point that he only has one guy here, and you have more than five or more. Okay, so if you destroy him with one hit and he does not get a hit on you, you will then be able to.
forward.
You can move forward to Marche.
Okay.
So
Are
since
you
this,
gonna make him drag everything to the back?
I'm not. I'm gonna. Why don't we make Belgium roll first on and see if they get a 4. That will get that. Oh. Okay, so he did get that
Alan
hit.
says no.
So why don't
No,
you,
Germany.
do you want to just roll him here, or, you know?
I still have combat, right?
Yep, you have the
Yes,
ability.
sir.
You have the ability to roll now. So
Yeah, the only thing is now you have no chance of being able to advance.
Advanced. Yeah, yeah. All right, so I got 3 4s.
that's correct.
So I'll start there.
And I will tell you, we actually are almost at the hour mark. I wasn't sure what you guys had after this, whether you had another game at 5 or not.
I don't have another game until this evening.
Okay.
I have one at. Hang on, let me check. Of course, everything's in Eastern, so now I have to do time math.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yours didn't automatically alter for you at all, or
No,
Hmm.
they put it in all at Eastern time.
Where you
Colorado.
and
okay, so you're mountain.
Yep, it's set 4. 4 mountain.
So
2 an hour from now.
okay.
6. Well, that actually works out okay because I have to get off at. I'll be off at 5:45 to take my daughter to work. So.
So did you get a chance to roll yet?
I believe it is Brent's turn to roll for his Germans. Oh, wait a minute, I take it back. You did roll 3.
I got it hit.
You got a
Okay.
hit, and that's all you needed.
Okay, so the Guard Civique is destroyed, and the Germans need to take 1 hit on something.
1 hit. Yep. Very good first turn, guys.
Oh, this is a single stepper. I guess
Yes,
that's a single
sir.
stepper.
Yep.
Those are
That means he was
Oh,
those
that's fine. I'll take it.
those are
yeah,
those
that's all right.
those are the old dudes. The old dudes in the army. All right, while you do that, I'm going to replenish the chit because the only thing left is a end of turn at this point.
Oh, there's just 12 total?
Yep, and we're going to now add 1, which is going to be the French, and we're going to advance the turn. Actually, the 5th. Right? Yeah, the 5th.
What was it, 5th or 4th? I'm sorry.
5th. 4th comes on the next
Fifth.
turn.
My bad.
And that starts us off into the next turn. Okay. So I'm going to make sure to shuffle, because I don't know that I did last time.
These gentlemen would appreciate that.
Well, you'll have to watch back this game and then watch back the 11 o'clock game. And if you see that it was exactly the same draw for each one, you'll know that that was what happened. Okay, so we have a special event here, which is Forced March for the German. That's a good one to come out first.
If you're the Germans.
And Albert.
Oh, it's out there.
And don't forget, Albert, you do have that ability up here to attack.
Oh,
And
yes. Okay, great.
roll those 2 dice if you want to. Or you can try to bring in more troops and reinforce it. Whatever you would like to do.
I am going to. Let's see. I'll take that. I'll just do the forward attack.
Okay, so roll 2 dice and 5 or better. on that.
Okay, 2 dice.
And no hits there. Okay. Any other movements for the Belgians? Or are they feeling comfortable right now?
I think we're okay. Actually, so remind me the victory conditions. So they have to take Liege and Namur, or
Yep. And they have to get infantry across this victory line and hold one of these cities, one of these points, up until the 19th. If they hold one of those cities on the 19th, they win.
And just to remind that it's not necessarily occupying Liège and Namur; it's simply destroying the forts.
Mhm.
So,
Destroy the forts.
yeah, okay. In that case, I think maybe I will.
You have the ability to put more in there. You can put 2 more in there if you want. Now your French are going to activate theoretically down here as well, and they could come up and start trying to reinforce too if you wanted to. They're not going to be able to reach that completely. 1, 2, as far as they can reach is Charleroi.
So then I probably will leave these guys here. Yeah, we'll stay.
Okay, so let's draw another chit. End a turn. End a turn. Interesting.
Don't we do the resolve the attack for the?
It's already done. You missed.
Nah,
You rolled 2 dice. You missed them both dice. He does not get a counter.
that's right. Okay.
He does not, because he does.
If you had the Big Bertha event shit, you could have fired back, but
Well, he's gonna be firing at you now. So
there you go. Second Army. So now,
Yep.
time to put the hammer down on Liège.
I think I'll move over here.
there you go.
All right. Let's do 4s.
That's one
One
hit.
hit.
One hit.
So you're gonna need 1 more.
And then we'll do 5s.
Nothing.
Nothing. And then we'll do 6s.
You roll that again.
Wow.
I don't think that was a roll. Was that a roll?
Moving
There you
out.
go. Same result.
Better.
That's the same result.
Same result.
So
Okay,
Liège
so
gets thrown by a fingernail. Very
so Liège, you get to fight back. So you get to roll 2 dice as well at this point.
Adam rolled 2 die. 5s are better.
So that's 1 hit.
That's
Oh,
one
one
hit.
hit.
Okay. Well, this is interesting because you tied. He's the defender. Wingo's the defender. He's actually going to push you back. So that was actually more of a disaster for the Germans than I think they would have liked. So he's going to get 1 hit, but
Yeah, it's a setback.
the Germans are going to have to come back to here at this point.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a huge thing. You'll be able to move back in, later on. But
That's what
it-
I'm saying. I would say it's a setback.
Mhm.
You still have a very strong second army, or excuse me, first army that's up there just to the north of Liège.
That's true too.
Oh, it changed to a 6.
Did it?
Yeah. That 5, when I flipped it, went to a 6.
It's yes, it will. It's
Yeah.
it's reduced.
It's
Si-
reflecting the fact that it's
Mhm.
reduced firepower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I thought you meant it did it like automatically or something. I was like, I
Oh,
was
no, no,
worried.
no.
We have seen that sometimes in Tabletop Simulator where we'll go to stack something on something, and then it will actually convert it to whatever underneath of it. And I'm like, how did that
Yeah.
happen?
Be a little glitchy sometimes. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pull a chip.
Okay.
The third.
Third.
Mhm.
There you go. Third. And
Now you do have forced march, and he does not have sabotage, so you will be able to get into Namor if you want to use it.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so we're gonna flip that to show you used it.
that's kind of the ideal.
Yeah, that was ideal, definitely. Okay, so we're gonna have a big battle right there at Namor now. I think it's funny, all these hands moving around, you know. And how come my hand is so much bigger than anybody else's? Does your hand look really big on your screen, and mine looks small?
I think your personal hand is larger than.
Yeah, because the three of you look the same to me.
Oh, do they? Okay. I just was curious. I thought I was.
Alright.
I thought that was me trying to say something. You know. I
Big
got
hands?
big hands. I wasn't sure what I was trying to say there. Okay. What do we got? We got 3 4s and 2 5s for the Germans. We got 5 5s and a 6 for the Entente. Who's rolling first?
I'll go.
Okay.
2 hits.
2 hits.
1, 2.
Three.
3
Three
hits.
hits.
Okay, 3 hits.
So 3 hits total for the German. Now Adam will roll 4 5s and 1 6.
No, he's not. He's
5
gonna roll
fives.
4 ones.
5 5s.
Ah, well, yeah. That's what the Germans are using.
No, he's got 4 hits.
Ooh,
I might need more dice here.
4 hits.
Let's see. I only put out 4 dice.
Here's my 6.
No, that is a 1. Okay, so 4 hits on the Germans and 3 on the
Belgium.
on the Belgians. So the Belgian infantry are pretty much destroyed there.
But
But
that does mean that the Germans are repulsed.
Yep.
They can't stay in the.
Yep.
Oh, all the hits go to the infantry first.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, sir.
That's why.
So your fort actually remains unblemished. And
So-
the Third Army took it on the chin, so they go back to March.
Yeah, I think there is a. I think that there is an interview later tonight. I want to say it's 6 Eastern time. Might be right. That I wanted to see anyway, so that might be our stopping time overall. Okay, we are good so far.
Pretty good so far. So
Yeah, I'm going to draw a chip. That would have been useful earlier, but you could still use it because he still hasn't activated the first, although there's not really a lot of movement up there. So, Big Bertha, that certainly would have helped on that attack. Zeppelins would have helped on that attack. The first.
it's the Hindenburg. It just crashed.
Yeah, it really did just crash.
Now, obviously, so yeah, Brant's got to choose. Assume that the second can come back and get Liège. You were the first to go to Liège.
Well, bringing the first in with Big Bertha is going to be an automatic on that.
That is true.
It would be an automatic destroy there. I mean, he could bring in 1 unit, and it would still be an automatic destroy. So he could actually take his first and go multiple directions if he wanted to.
Right. Yeah, you could break. You can break that first up. You could send units to Haslet, Tienen, and Liège. It
Yeah, you
doesn't
could-
have to stick together.
Now, there's only one army that has a little bit of advantage of sticking together, and that's the BEF. When they come in, we'll talk about that.
Right, so I don't have to hold Liège. All I need to do is kill the fort.
Yep.
So
Yep.
one unit, like taking this guy here and doing that, just so Big Bertha kills it.
Yep. Now he'll get to roll back and just try to destroy your guy,
Right.
but you know.
Okay.
hmm
But I still, that sounds like a fair trade to me.
hmm
Okay.
And interestingly enough, this did happen exactly the same way in today's game. They're running together. What's going on? I'm seeing history repeat itself here.
Well, that's kind of point of the game, Ryan.
I know.
Recreating history.
I know. I didn't know it would happen in a 6-hour span though. Okay, that's fair. That works. So let's take care of Liège first, I guess, and allow the Entente to fire back there. See if they can
Says to roll his
one die at a 5 or better.
his parting shot.
And we're gonna flip Big Bertha.
Oh, and he got a hit.
Yeah.
So takes care of the reservists.
And I will rotate this and flip this to the destroyed side. Okay, so now we have a destroyed Liège. You are 2/3 of the way to winning the game. So now we have. I'm sorry, 1/3. Sorry about that.
Don't get Adam worried now.
I know. I just realized after I said that. And now let's do that battle right there, I guess, in Tenon. I better not start teaching my son fractions this fall, I guess. You are 1/17 away. There we go. So we got a 6, a 5, a bunch of 4s, and a bunch of 5s.
All right, so I'll go with my 4 4s.
Okay.
2 hits.
2 hits. I'm not limiting you to 4 hits, by the way. I'm assuming that you can get more than 4 hits. It's just I only have 4 dice there.
And then my 5s.
Okay.
Just 2 hits.
Just 2 hits.
Yeah. I'll roll 5.
Yep.
Ooh, miss.
That's a miss.
8 and 6.
Okay.
Also a miss.
That's so 2 misses against 2 hits.
And then I lose 1 guy.
Mm-hmm. I've just been stacking them up over here on the right. Anywhere. Doesn't matter where. As soon as we're done the game, I just reload the whole game and it resets, so. And you're going to have to retreat. You can retreat down to here or up to here.
Oh, okay.
So Leuven or Gembloux. He's going to Leuven. Okay. So all the Germans have been drawn. The only thing that has been drawn for the Entente is the 5th. So let's see what the next pool is.
End of turn.
It could be. There's a forced march, which that may be very helpful for him if the 5th does get drawn. Yay, look.
Ooh, here we go.
So that's going to be helpful. You can use, I know it's colored green, but that applies to any of the Entente. So you can use that forced march on the 5th to try to get him into, enforce.
So, Adam and or Brent, how familiar are either of you guys with World War One history?
Enough to know how it turned out in real life.
Enough to know
Know
that.
what happened.
Okay. Enough to know to. I missed what you said. Enough to know that what?
How this turned out. in
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is.
so far, I mean, obviously, it's playing pretty close to the historical. The Germans are a little far ahead with getting closer towards the victory line, but and taking out Liège. But Namur, there was a bit more struggle down there. So the Belgians giving the Germans a bloody nose down there is it's kind of a trade-off. So now it's a question of will the French have a chance to get up there before the Germans can get back in?
Well, the French can now. I mean, they have the ability to move with their infantry 3 and with their cavalry 5, so they could go and reinforce. They could go and reinforce them more if they want. They could at least, I mean, they could at least put 4 troops in there.
All right.
Well, normally the 4, but you have the forced march.
Right, so it ordinarily 2-4, now it's 3-5. So infantry move 3, cavalry move 5 with forced march. Yep.
Can I occupy Liège, or is that?
Yes.
You may
Yeah,
if you want to.
The French.
1, 2,
may
3,
occupy
4, 5.
But
There-
that doesn't prevent. I can't reverse the fact that the fort was destroyed.
No,
Can I get
Yeah.
the condition back?
no, but he would have to.
You
He'd
can
have to fight you.
occupy it, but yeah, you can occupy it, but it won't do anything for you as far as the victory issues.
The forts around Liège are destroyed, but the city of Liège still exists. So if you're bringing your cav into Liège, you're bringing it into the city. You're bringing it into the countryside around, etc., etc. I mean, that's a hiccup for him if he's trying to get the second through there.
All right. Let's put him.
That's the max now for Namur. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, so I think there's only one chip pool left, which is end of turn. So that is it for that turn. I will put all these back in. And we are now going to put in the 4th German and the 4th French. So we're up to 15, and we're up to August 10th, 12th. So now the 4th are going to be able to get involved, and this 4th, the French are going to be able to be involved as well. And I will shuffle again, just to make sure I keep shuffling.
Excellent.
And I will draw. We have forced march for the Entente, and that's a good draw for them. We have turn end, which is not great. It's funny, your two hands down here look like they're fighting one another. I keep seeing the green coming down going, "Come get me!" And the blue's going, "No, I'm here! You're gonna have to come get me!" Oh my gosh, Dave, look at that. 2 end of turns. So this is gonna be interesting. We'll see what happens here. Nope. Von Kluck.
All right.
The first is active, trying to get over that victory line.
Chip pulling privileges
I know.
to keep that up.
Well, we did have an instance this morning where there were 2 like that, and then 1 activated, and then I don't know. At some point, the other one came out, and then the person had to risk the atrocities, which we haven't had to risk yet, and try to bring in the rest of his units. We haven't even had to talk about that because that hasn't occurred yet.
And how does that mechanic work? The atrocities. If you pull the commander chip, but the turn end.
Yeah, if the turn ends and all 3 of those are pulled, then the Germans can still activate any units that haven't been activated, but they do risk forcing their troops and committing atrocities, so they're going to have to make a roll. And if that roll is 4 or higher for each of the armies that they move, then they will have committed an atrocity. If at any point they commit 5 atrocities, they lose the game automatically.
That means you're even more despicable than the Germans were in history.
Yes.
So you were extra despicable. Alright.
You're going into Leuven.
Yep.
Okay. And this, I believe, is a possibility, if I'm not mistaken. Does he have a lot here, or just 1?
Not just
So that's a possibility of a advance after combat, I believe, because I'm pretty sure you have more than 5 there.
If Grant gets hit and Adam does not, then yes, that will be AAC.
Yep.
Alright, let's go with the 4s first. One hit.
Which is all you needed.
Yep.
Unless you like to beat a dead horse.
Let me roll the 6.
Oh!
Oh!
It's a 1 and 1.
Wow.
You're slowing him down.
Wow.
You're slowing him down. That's good. You're slowing him down. That's what you want.
Belgians are not going down without a fight.
No. I got it. Just means it's going to take him another
Which is funny
turn to get in there.
because that actually is where one of the first quote atrocities occurred, was actually in Leuven. The Germans burnt most of the city, including a medieval library, which they destroyed countless irreplaceable medieval documents and artifacts. So,
Well, I still have time.
Yes, you,
hey, game's not over yet.
yes, you
Game's
do.
not over yet.
Whoa, somebody just rolled a die off the board. Okay, I'll draw another chit, I think, because I think that's over for the first. Oh, I don't want the whole bag.
Oh, bring the whole bag.
Well, look at that.
Oh, Ryan.
Okay, so this is
Leuven might be burning after all.
this is the instance of what we were talking about before. This is weird.
Yeah. And I do it one at a time, right?
Yes, you. No,
And
you.
can
You.
pick,
You.
don't have to pick all three, obviously. You can pick if you just want to move one army, 2 armies. That's fine.
But
don't
you.
have to pick all 3.
You need to
But
pick,
You have to roll for every one you do.
and you need to do that first.
Right.
So if you
So
decide,
you decide
yeah,
how many
you have to decide
you're gonna
first.
do first.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. This is weird, Dave. This happened earlier today. But in earlier today there was already
All
atrocity.
3.
Okay.
All 3.
So roll 3 dice, 4 or higher. You're going to commit 3 atrocities. And
You
you.
sound like that's a bad thing.
Well, that was thought it was a bad
I
thing.
get 5.
Well, I know somebody else said that this morning.
I figure I can mass murder 300,000. That still leaves me with 200,000.
There you go. It's fractions again. You're only 2. Oh.
No.
Gentle, kindler Germans.
No atrocities whatsoever. So there's no penalties for this at this point. We have a mechanic in the new game, White Eagle Defiant, where if you do commit, and we don't have atrocities, we call it a blitzkrieg breakdown, where there actually is a penalty. But in Brave Little Belgium, there is no penalty for this. So you'll be able to move your 2, 3, and 4 as you normally would. The only thing I would remind, well, there's nothing that he can really do. He has no sabotage to really do anything,
Unfortunately,
and you have no
was
special
no-
events to help you. So it's going to be purely whatever you can do.
Well, and I would say this doesn't mean there were no atrocities. It just meant there was nobody left to report them.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
they were looking the other way.
Atrocities.
All right, and I can do these in any order, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. 1. No, I get no pluses.
Nope. No pluses, no bonuses, no anything.
So really, the Southern Front, the only reason to care about that fort at this stage is because 2 of the 3 out of Arlon is 2 pointers.
Are you talking about Longwy down here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
French forts are minor.
Yeah, they're very minor forts. A lot of people just ignore this. There's been a lot of people that ask me, did we even need to include that? I'm like, well, it was historically there, so we'll include it. You can decide whether you want to even try to go through it or not, but you do not have to. You can just avoid it. It is a little bit more of a difficult route if you avoid it, but.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well. Oh. Yeah. All right. Well. Interesting. So what would I do with that one? So the question to me is, I'll activate the 4th. The question would be, well, I could roll the dice. Well, see, the problem is going north is not good from anywhere along that southern line until you get back here. They're all 2s, right?
It's the Ardennes region. It's a
Yes,
pretty
sir.
tricky region to get through.
But I mean, it'd be nice to open another front.
I agree.
Wrong
But then,
war. But next war, you can sneak through the Ardennes and cause trouble.
but it's like be slow.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or I could just bash the 3rd and use the 4th as a backup for Namur. If I don't take it with the 3rd, I could at least knock some units in and follow with the 4th, which means the quickest path would be best. And you can't stack differing armies, right?
you can stack differing armies, but you can't exceed the stacking limit.
Right.
But they don't
And
defend, but not attack then, right?
right. Right. Activation-wise, you can only attack with
Yes,
like
yes. Mhm.
units.
Yeah.
But
So
they
with
can
the
certainly be in the same space, but right, for attack purposes, only the activated.
Right. Okay. Well, let's do this. I'm gonna go here with him, and then I'm gonna go here with these. Boom. So 1 combat. I needed a 5. Right?
Yep. So you'll be rolling a 5 and Adam rolling
Well,
a 6.
Actually a 3, but close enough.
That's a miss.
No harm, no foul. This guy will go back. Okay.
So, we're not doing the battle at Neufchâteau.
Oh,
Oh.
which one?
You did the battle at Neufchâteau. You just,
Yes.
I mean, you just okay.
Yeah, he rolled a 3. Yeah, there was.
All right, I got you. I
Yeah,
got
there
you.
was no effect.
I got you.
We weren't really serious about it yet.
No, no.
Everybody was shooting in the air.
Okay. It was a Mori battle. We just kind of danced a little bit,
Got you.
That's right. Called each other names.
called each other names. Yeah, talked about our mothers.
There you go.
Okay, so let's go. Interesting. Let's go with the 2nd. Oh, let's do this. Kajun, kabang. There's the 2nd.
Okay.
Um,
The third now.
Yep. Do I want to do that? Well, I take the reinforce it. Oh, we're going to have a huge stack. It's going to be 20 to 20.
What? 20 to 20.
I'm just thinking the more I delay, the bigger this stack right here is going to get.
It cannot get any bigger than that.
Oh, yeah, you're limited to 8, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, with the fort. Yeah.
He's already got 8 there,
Yeah.
and you have like what 6 there or something. No, I mean on
God, it'd be nice if it could tell you, or if it would pop it out so I could see
Right.
what was in the stack.
no, I mean at Marche.
Oh, yeah, no. 3, 4, 5.
Because you already moved those to their maximum limit, right?
Yes.
So you can't move that into Namur anyway.
Oh, yeah. And I don't think I'm going to do any more.
No, I think, yeah. Have you guys ever played on Vassal?
No, I hate Vassal.
Well, The only nice thing about Vassal is if you hover over a stack like that, it would show you
Yeah,
everything.
it all exploded. Yeah. The problem with Vassal is it's all at once, right?
Yeah.
It's 400 icons across the top, and you know it's very hard to figure out. Once you got it, it's fine, but it's
I use it a lot, and you're right. The learning curve is pretty steep. It's a pity because there's good things here, there's good things in Vassal. Somebody needs to put them all together and make.
You can make it easier. I mean, the designer of each Vassal module decides what those icons at the top are going to be. You don't have to include all those icons at the top. They could simplify it, but they're trying to provide as much options to the players as
That's right. Some people do throw in everything but the kitchen.
Yeah.
Sink. Actually, the Across 5 Aprils mod that we're using, I mean, it's kind of comprehensive, so I don't mind it, but I can see how somebody would be overwhelmed because there's like 20 icons at the top.
Okay,
okay.
that's it. I think that's
Done.
it.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to put those back in, and now we're going to have the possibility of the BEF coming
Here
in.
comes the Brits. They're done brewing their tea.
Okay,
They're on their way.
I'm going to shuffle. So we should talk about the British. The British cannot stack with the French or the Belgians. They don't really care for them too much. As long as you keep the British together, and what I mean by together, I mean this whole stack together, and as long as
Three of their units.
Yep, as long as they're at full strength, they also get a +1 when attacking. So there's not many of them, but they are stronger because they get a +1. If you split them apart, they don't get that +1. Okay, so
I
they,
have a question.
yep,
So I can't stack with the French or the Belgian units.
yep,
Can they garrison the forts if there are no?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
they would not be able to go into that area right there because
British are extremely snobbish about that.
there's.
The short pants.
Okay, so we got the sabotage for the Entente that got pulled. We got an event used. What is it? Oh, it's flipping all around. Okay, that's a forced march. So that's going to really offset, but it will allow the, as we said before, the Entente to make it so they can't go any further. The fourth. So that's these guys down here. They're getting involved in the action. They're looking at that third up there going, up, I'm coming up. Of course, they have a difficult time to get up there, and they don't have a lot of troops.
And so in terms of movement, these guys have how much?
That cav on top has 4,
4.
and then the other ones below have 2.
Right. So,
So-
your infantry could theoretically only get to either Givet or Florens, but the cav could go as far north as Charleroi or Denain.
Yep. Or you could take, or you could take that fourth down to Verton, if you wanted to, as well.
I think that's a
Okay.
reasonable defensive move.
Draw. The fourth. And this is the fourth German.
Ah, here they come. Creeping through the Ardennes.
You can roll down there. If
To
you,
be fair. Well, I guess I'll move them. Whatever.
I guess if this was to be more realistic, we would all have tweezers on our hands here as we're moving these things around. But
Apparently that's the dancing guard civique.
he's just practicing flipping them around. He's hoping that might have.
3 4s.
I guess 100. I get points from that.
Oh,
Well, actually,
3 hits. Okay, I think you got that guard civique. Let's see if he can.
parting shot.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow. All right, Adam, I don't know where you're at, but hop in the car and immediately go to Atlantic City.
Right.
Start shooting some crabs.
So he.
That's like the third time you've rolled a 6 on a 6. That's pretty impressive.
Numbers advantage. Right?
Well, once again, it prevents Brent from being able to advance after combat. So, which is really
It's really critical.
that's what the Entente is trying to do.
Okay. So that's the fourth. So let's pull another chip. Zeppelins. He can use that in future attack. The British.
Ah, Sir John French.
Right.
Sir
let's
John,
see.
I don't like the French.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really wish the leader of the British was called, like, instead of De Carey, was, Carey British. So
Or
then
English.
English, yes, Carey English, and then the other John French. Then I get really confused.
These guys can move 4, right? So
Well, no, just the cav, just the
Just the
cav.
cap.
Well, the cavalry can, yeah.
The
But
cat.
again, it's the whole idea of if you want to keep the inherent combat bonus, they have to stick together as a single group.
okay, in which case, 2.
Right. So,
I'm really concerned about this guy up here.
well, and that would be one good reason to break the French up, the British up, if only to put that cav up there in Brussels, because that would at least act as not to be rude to the British, a speed bump that the Germans would have to go through to get to Ghent.
You could do what I did the other day. I brought those British up against Dave the other day,
Oh,
trying
yeah,
trying
we
to.
had a great time. We had to play a refresher game because Ryan and I haven't played this in so long that we were kind of rusty, and
Yep.
yeah, I think we had one combat and I slaughtered the entire BF.
Oh, yeah, they're dead.
It was,
Done.
it was it was pretty amazing.
At the risk of reminding my opponent how to win, if he crosses this line at all, then he wins, or
No, he has to
No.
hold a spot until the 19th.
Right.
I see. So he would have to hold, let's say, Ghent here for until that day.
Right. Also, though, do recall he also has to have destroyed Namor.
Right.
Okay, so those are not independent.
Nope.
No, sir.
All three.
So, as Ryan said earlier, if he gets to Ghent, that's 2/3 the way to
Right. Okay. Well, in that case, I will start making my way up in that direction.
Okay. Good to go, right? Draw another chip. Turn end. First.
Oh,
Here we go.
Speaking of the Germans,
Yeah, he can just kind of hang out over there.
that's it.
Okay, so that's 2/3 of the way.
Yes.
Okay, the fifth.
Alrighty. Let's see here.
See, I have a feeling he's going to have a little bit of a hard time at Namor because you get so much there for reinforcement. Unless he can somehow bring in some other troops to try to, quell that.
Well,
We'll see.
I'm gonna
It
risk
seems
it.
to me this would the end would typically be huge stacks at Namor.
Well, it can be, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of individuals who play the game and they try to stack up at those places, even more so than it maybe was originally done in this game at Liège, So that it's definitely a possibility. But
well,
he's
and two, a lot of times it depends on how you pull the chits. I like that. The game that Ryan and I played a couple nights ago, I seem to have taken Namor out pretty quick.
well. You kept drawing all the German chits, and I never even got a chance to move or
Right,
activate my
it was
fourth or
very
fifth.
strange. The odds were probably not in favor of that kind of game happening again.
So we have two end of turns out right now. Just FYI, guys. So we'll
Yep.
see what comes up next. This is
A
Big
used
Bertha.
event. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Ah,
So
there you go.
You go.
so the second
Atrocity time.
and the third did not get pulled. Albert did not get pulled. He will not be able to activate, and that will not be able to activate. You still will be able to use any of your events down here if you activate the second or the third, but you have to decide first if you want to activate those. And all this will be returned.
So I have Zeppelins and Big Bertha, right?
Yep, so you get +1 on attack, and you also get that +1 automatic hit if you fire on the fort. And you have that forced march, but he has that sabotage.
Yeah, those would just cancel out, right?
Well, they do cancel out, but it also means that you will not be able to move an additional movement point. You won't get that additional
Oh,
movement
right.
point. I wish I knew what these numbers meant up next to your guys' names, because Dave, you never get above like 80.
It's a ping value.
Is it?
which I'm not.
Is that what it
it's
is?
Like a send receive. So yeah. It's not
Oh,
that
okay,
hard.
I see what it is.
Actually,
Okay, so that
you
makes
all
sense.
Are stuck in the 82, whereas Adam and Grant are.
I
500s.
gotcha. I gotcha.
So,
It's pinging back and forth to the player. I gotcha.
Higher's better, right?
yes, I guess.
Or gross. I mean, I have big hands, and you have higher ping value. I mean,
Yeah, is that it?
yeah. Are you? So you're going to activate the third? You're thinking?
I don't know. I'm just looking to
Oh,
see
okay.
what was in the stack.
Gotcha.
I think if there were ever a turn to risk atrocities, I think it's this one.
So,
Well, the
right,
problem
push
is, I would prefer this to be August 16 to 18.
right.
Why?
Well,
Because I'd be one closer to the winning condition, right?
Right. So you're thinking that you take out Namor, but then someone might come in and try to push you back out again.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Or Gant.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Just one more round I'd have to defend.
Yep, I gotcha.
Yeah, this. I have a whole nother wave of reinforcements, right? That are off map.
No, no, you don't. The fifth is down here.
Poland, remember?
The fifth is down here, but they're busy with the French, so they're off map. Yes, but they're busy fighting the French.
Actually, if you really want to be historical, at this point, the Germans are fighting the Russians in East Prussia.
Oh,
and
that
it
too.
was at this point that the Germans actually pulled a few units out of the west and took them east because it was.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, not much help coming from the fatherland.
And we're gonna lose Dave any minute, and then we have about 15 minutes after that for everybody else, I think.
Yeah, I got another 5 minutes.
Let's go for it then. So
Okay.
I'll activate the third.
So roll.
And hang on. Do I? Yeah, I'm going to activate them both.
Okay, so go ahead and roll 2 dice.
Yes.
Well, he doesn't have any atrocities. If he had had those 3 before, he might be a little bit less willing. But
That's
You know.
true.
whoa, that one just went off the
Well,
table.
there's one. The other one, we'll never know.
Oh,
The other one's here. So you got 1.
yeah, that's not even. That's a cock guy, right?
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Let me re-roll this.
Oh.
So we go. Oh! Okay. Hang on.
Pull that die away from the edge.
Grab this aerospace.
There you
right
go.
here.
There we go. Yeah.
Let's try it again. All right.
Well,
Ooh. All right. So this is the mean. This is the mean and nasty Germans we all knew and loved. So.
so that was really important.
Damned.
That was really important on that last turn that you rolled 0 atrocities.
That is true. Yes. You'd be
Alright.
atrocity out right now.
Alright, so let's go with the third. We'll start with the third.
Into Namor.
Into Namor. No more.
Now, how many total do you have there?
5, I think.
Okay.
I was gonna say it's less than 8. I know that
Yeah.
because he's taken a couple hits on the third.
Dave, entertain for just a second. I need to go run and get a drink.
So, 3 guys walk into a bar.
3 Germans walking to a
so-
bar. I got 4
That's
now.
right. So what do you guys think?
That's fun.
I hope it was worth the price of admission.
Oh yeah, that $2
$2 well spent.
Yeah.
If only to hear me and Ryan rattle on.
All right. We ready?
We are. I'm back.
It's really fighting me to try to move these pieces for some reason.
Really? Wonder why.
Are we good? Oh, of course. Okay. I was just informed by my better half that we have until 6 now, so
Okay.
I will actually be able to see this through.
All right. Well, I'll start. So I'll go. Here's the 4.
Now, don't forget you have some special
Plus
chips
1,
that
right?
plus
Yeah,
one,
Led Zeppelin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you're already going to get 1 hit automatically on the fort. So that's, but that doesn't occur till at the end of the battle. But still,
Right. Okay. Well, I missed on the first roll.
okay.
Now let's do the 5s.
Does that +1 add to the dice roll, or how does that?
You could do it either way, but yeah, it does technically add to the dice roll.
Are we talking about Big Bertha or the Zeppelins?
The Zeppelins.
Zeppelins is +1 to the dice roll. Yeah.
Love you.
Love you.
1 hit.
1 hit.
1 hit.
Oh, but doesn't that 3 convert to a 4 with the? With
It's the 5.
But it's the
But
5s.
he's firing at 5, so
The 4 was a
it's
miss.
just- yeah.
So he's got 1 hit.
Oh, I see.
1 hit, and then the Bertha on the 4, right?
Yeah, so technically you're 2 hits.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll my 3 4s first.
Okay.
That's good.
3 hit.
Damn.
And then 5 5s.
Yep. Here, you need another die. You got one.
There we go.
That's the kind of roll I do. Yeah.
As good a roll as that first one was as bad as the second one. Man.
That was pretty amazing on the French one.
Oof.
You guys know the old joke about the used French gun?
Yes.
I don't.
Used French gun for sale, never fired, dropped once.
Oh, jeez.
In this case, they were fired 3 times.
They did
I
well.
was gonna say, in this case, au contraire.
So
Okay,
how
so
many do I take?
you take the Atan's going to take 2. You actually.
Yeah, the Ford takes 1 and 1 French unit. Yep. And then Brent will take 3 hits.
I take 3.
Yep. One of those hits for the Entente has to be to the fort,
Right. Right.
Oh, because of
the Big Bertha. Normally, you would never take to the fort first, but in this case, because of Big Bertha, 1 is to the fort.
And to add insult to the German injury, they have to retreat.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's a good thing, actually.
Well, yeah, because now it allows the
I got the second.
Yeah.
your round 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although it really doesn't matter because if
As long as you
Well,
don't exceed your stacking. If you would exceed your stacking, it would matter.
yes. All right.
Is that all you have? Is that all you have left for the third?
Yep.
All the rest of that was eliminated.
Because there were 3 1-steps.
Wow.
Yeah, these
Wow.
3 are reduced.
Yeah, he did a pretty
Yeah,
good
the-
job on you there.
Well, don't forget, he already had one bloodbath at Namor with the third, so this is really
Woof.
like a second clobbering.
Yeah, really.
That who's the third commander? Is that
The
Who was
Yeah.
the 3rd commander?
I'm trying to look.
Von Hausen.
zooming in here.
Von.
Von Hausen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's going to pay a little visit to the Kaiser.
The second's pretty flush, though. The second's going to be difficult.
Oh yeah, second. Second's actually, yeah, really, second is still got some firepower.
Yep. Okay.
All right, so these are all
Alright.
straight ups because we don't have any more events, right? So it's face value.
Yeah, you used Zeppelins and you used Big Bertha. That is correct.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Those are only used for one.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, one combat per use. Yep.
All right. Here we go. Here are the 4s.
Ooh,
Do it.
there you go.
Okay.
Here are the 5s.
Oof.
Oh, yikes. They're mad. They're like, all right, we just committed some atrocities. Now we're gonna.
Here
Now
are
we're
the
gonna
6.
get the
If he gets 2 more hits, I'll be impressed. Ah,
No,
4 hits.
4 hits.
Go ahead.
Yeah, 4 hits is.
Okay, my 2 4.
See if his French guns are still firing.
Oof.
Oh!
2 hits, 1 with 4. And then 5 5.
5 5s.
Oh, another 2.
2 hits.
Wow, so it was a tie. 4 hits on each side.
Yep. Germans have to retreat.
Now in this case, I can take all the hits on the infantry.
That's
or
correct.
I take all
Yes,
the
sir.
hits on the infantry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Before you would take a hit on the fort.
1, 2. Yep, that will do it.
Okay.
Cleanup time. Okay, we're good to go for the next turn, I think. I will pull the first chip. The British. Let's see if they can do anything with Ghent up there.
Alright, we're gonna try to assault Ghent here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You do get the +1 for the British.
Okay, so I'll roll the 2 4s. +1, so 2 hits.
2 hits.
And then 1 5.
2 hits.
So 2 hits total.
Okay. Here are my 4s. One hit. cards. Here is my 6. Come on, roll.
Nope.
Nope. 1 hit.
So that was pretty advantageous.
Ooh, wow. So, Sir John French is victorious.
Hmm. And you really actually also have limited where he can go back to.
I can go to Ath, right?
Is it he attacked you through Ath? So
So I can't.
no, you'd have to go here. You'd have to go to Swanee.
Swings.
Yeah, you'd have to go there.
Okay.
There's really no supply line type stuff in here, but I mean, if you do get surrounded, you will start suffering penalties. So right now you're okay, but you know he did a pretty good job on you there, and you can go back to Ghent. Okay, so it is 5:57. What do you guys want to do? I know you have another game at 6. Somebody does?
Yep, I do.
Okay, so what I'll do is I will actually save this game. That way, if you want to play it, we can always get together at some other point and play it. BLB. And we have
Or we could just say, more than likely I'd probably win.
I don't know about that. I'm actually thinking the Entente's going to either get a draw or win in this. They've been doing so well at Namur that, and you just got pushed back, that you still now have to get another person across and defeat Namur and do it, in 2 turns. So I don't know. We'll see. But I did save it so that if we want to come back and take a look at it again, and we certainly can. And I do want to thank you guys for stopping by and playing. And
Thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate it. And again, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's always fun watching guys. People play it for the first time and seeing new strategies and different thoughts and whatnot. So thank you guys.
Yep.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Okay. Have a great night. Yeah. Have a great night, and hopefully we'll talk to you guys sometime again soon. I'm going to stop the stream and say goodbye to everybody. So that ends the stream. Okay. So we